Well, hey everybody, welcome back to Washita Valley Farms. It's Monday, same day as the last episode. It's after supper, and I figured that I would clue you guys in on some of the new equipment that I've been telling you about in the last couple of episodes. So, Dad got his new piece of equipment today. It's down by the shop, so let's go check it out. Grass is kind of getting tall. That grass that Mom sowed earlier this spring is looking pretty good. I don't know if you guys remember or not, but there was a bare spot back here, and we haven't really been mowing it to just kind of give it a chance to grow. And I think it's time to mow it. So, if you remember, I told you that the piece of equipment that Dad was getting was going to be something that I could probably incorporate into the services that I'm going to provide. And here it is. He's got a new Rhino brush hog. He's used it a little bit here around to just kind of mow some tall stuff here in the yard. He hadn't really tried it on anything thick yet, just kind of touching it up places here and there. So here he comes now. Let's see what he thinks about it. What do you think, Dad?
Well, so far I'm impressed. However, this little 30-20 does okay for mowing the short stuff, but I'm sure it won't knock down anything tall.
Yeah, but it sure does a nice job in the short grass. The cut is almost as good as a finish mower. If we need to tackle anything thick or tall, we have the Fiat.
How would you like to give it a try?
Sure. What do you want mowed?
Hook on and take it over to the Krieger place. I'd like you to mow both roads, the pasture back by the pond, and anything around your field you'd like mowed.
Sure, Dad, you got it. All right, so I got her hooked up to the Fiat, and I gotta say it looks a little more fitting behind the Fiat than it does behind the 3020. Now, eventually, and it's I don't know how long it'll be. Eventually, Dad plans on getting a little bigger tractor, maybe a little newer tractor to go along with the 3020, and that's the reason why he went ahead and got this big of a mower. He knew that we had the Fiat that we could use if we needed, and the size brush hog he got here, it's just small enough that the 3020 will do all right, but like he was saying, he's afraid it's not gonna be able to mow anything real thick and real heavy. But that's why we got the Fiat. So let's go over to the Krieger place and see what we can do. Now, I think I know I've been teasing you guys about the piece of equipment that I'm going to be getting, and I think probably by the next episode I should have it. Actually, I thought I was going to get it today, but it just didn't really work out. I had to work late at the co-op. There was just a lot of things that needed to be done, and had to get around some things to have ready for tomorrow morning. So it just didn't really work out that I was able to go and get it today. But tomorrow, I think I should be able to get it. All right, so we're rolling up here on the east side of the Krieger place, and Dad told me to go ahead and mow anything I wanted, around my little fields over here. So I'm going to do some of that. I'm going to mow the entryway here that you guys see here to my right, and I'm actually planning on extending this field a little bit towards the fence right here. I'm gonna disc up some of this grass when I disc this field, and so I'm gonna go ahead and mow some of this grass down. Now, Dad did tell me that he wanted me to leave enough room between the fence and my new extended field that we could drive in the grass between the field and the fence and go all the way down across the waterway that you see there in the distance to get to the gate on the west side of the place. All right, let's get to it. We're going to start right here and see how it goes. Looks like it's doing a pretty good job so far. I think I'm going to slow down just a little bit. It should do a pretty good job, I think, of taking out these bushes along the fence. Oh man, one thing about this Fiat that I still haven't gotten used to is how bad the turning radius is. If there's anything about this tractor that I could change, that would be it. Because it just really does not turn very well at all. I mean, it turns fine, it just doesn't turn very sharp. I know this thing is brand new and all, and the blades are brand new and sharp and really nice, but this thing's doing a great job. I gotta say, it's really cutting these this tall grass, and it's some of it's kind of weedy. doing a good job. It's cutting it nice and short. It's really chopping it up. I like it. I like it so far. Now, some of you may be wondering, man, that thing's dirty already. Some of you may be wondering why a Bush Hog brand and not a John Deere brand. Well, I'll tell you that even though we're kind of partial to John Deere around here, we also got to consider the value and the price of things. So the reason why he ended up with a Bush Hog, one of the reasons why he ended up with a Bush Hog and not a Deere, is that this was a holdover mower from last year, and since it was a holdover from last year, Dad ended up getting a really good deal on the Bush Hog. And it's a nice mower. I mean, it's a good quality, it's a good brand. It's well built. It's one of their higher end models. He went and looked at it and he said, "Yep, I like it." So here it is. And I've known for a while that Dad was in the market for one of these. And so I've been talking to Rodney, and I think one of the things that I'm going to do for him is do a little brush hogging. So that might be coming up in an episode before too long. I really don't want to get this thing in the fence. It's a fairly nice, fairly new fence. I would rather not tear it up. It's a nice new brush hog. I would rather not tear it up. Alright, I think I'm going to finish up this right here by the fence, and we're going to call this part good. And we're going to go down the road. Mow around this pole. Wish I could get that bush right there, but I don't think I can get it. I think it's pretty much grown up in the middle of the fence. I wouldn't be able to get it without getting into the fence. Okay, we're gonna call that good. So yeah, as I was saying earlier, I think my field is actually gonna come down. It's gonna come down this direction a little bit further. I'm gonna try to maximize the area that I have here, because, you know, let's say, you know, if I don't extend the field closer to the fence, I'm either just gonna end up, you know, baling that small area right there for grass, or I'm gonna end up having to mow it with the brush hog. So I'm thinking I might as well just extend it so that I can, one, maximize the amount of alfalfa that I can plant, because that's going to go into alfalfa. That field, that weedy, nasty field you see there, that's going to be an alfalfa this fall. So I can either extend the field and get some good out of it, or I am going to have to end up spraying it to keep the weeds down, because I don't want weeds right next to my field, because then I'll have weeds in my field. So I'm going to have to end up spraying it anyways, and either brush hogging the grass or baling it for grass. So I might as well just make the field a little bit bigger, and have more alfalfa. Go right over the top. Very good. And I'm not really going to worry about, not going to really worry about that grass out there, because that's going to get disked up anyways. So, not too worried about it. There's the shed over there where we found the 3020. If you are new to the channel and haven't seen that video, I'll post a link up in the top corner up here to that video if you want to go check it out. It'll be the origin story of the 3020. It was fun. It was a fun day. Alright, I think I am going to go ahead. I don't know if Dad's going to let me disc this up right here or not. He hadn't said, but I'm going to go ahead and mow it either way. It's really too tall to cut for hay now. It's too mature. So it just needs to either be disked up, or it needs to be mowed. So since I'm here, I'm just going to mow it. Some of these trees are pretty big, and I don't really want to get too close to them. They have big branches. I don't want to smoke my tractor cab. This little patch is actually bigger than it looks. I don't know how well the alfalfa will grow, you know, kind of under towards those trees, but you know, if he does let me plant, you know, disc this up and plant it, there's actually a little bit more here than I thought there would be. When I was looking at it, I wasn't really taking into consideration these little parts right here, like I'm mowing right here, and I'm mowing right back in here. And now keep in mind, you know, this whole area I'm mowing right here is not very big. It's maybe, I don't know, half an acre, 3/4 of an acre maybe. But I'm just getting started. So any little extra bit of alfalfa ground that I can get is going to be beneficial. Got a little close to that one. May have knocked some paint off. So, what do you guys think? I'm interested in of course, I always like comments. I've said that before in my videos. I like comments. I like to know what my audience is thinking about my plans. And so, let me go into a little more detail about the about my alfalfa growing ideas. So, that that weedy field that we started with down by the road, that's going to go into alfalfa this fall. I'm actually going to be disking that up pretty soon, probably maybe sometime in the next week or so. That'll get disked up, and I've asked Dad if I can disk up this little spot right here and put into alfalfa as well. I don't know whether he's going to let me or not, because honestly, it's kind of small to even mess with. But like I said, I want to get as much alfalfa acreage in the ground as I can. And then that area just across the draw right there, that's already kind of plowed, or it looks like it's been plowed. That is also going to go into alfalfa. So if Dad lets me plant this right here that we're currently brush hogging, I'll have 3 little alfalfa patches here on this Krieger place. And now if you can see right back there through the trees, that's another field. That's a big field. And Kurt Stevens is leasing that from Dad, so he's going to farm that. I think it's going to go into wheat this fall. But Kurt is leasing that, and then Dad is keeping the grass pasture that's up closer to the road, and we'll see that again here in a minute. But Dad is keeping that. If you don't remember, Dad baled that for grass this summer. He's baled it once. He'll probably end up baling it again. But yeah, so that's kind of how the future of the Krieger place is going to go here. There is a possibility that Dad will end up re-sowing some grass in his pasture. Right now it's sort of just a native grass, sort of Bermuda grassy, kind of a mix. And I think he was a little bit disappointed with the yields he got whenever he baled it. So there's a possibility that in sometime in the future that he'll either sow some grass, disc it up and sow some grass, or he'll plow it up and sprig some grass in there. But we'll see. I don't think he has any definite plans yet. I think if he does anything, it's going to be more towards like the fall and the summer. I think he plans to go ahead and cut it again for hay this fall. So this is the road here we're on now that leads back towards the pond, and we're coming up on the pond here pretty shortly. And there's a little pasture back here, and that's one of the things that Dad said that he wanted me to mow, is this little pasture back here. Now this pasture was pretty weedy this spring earlier when Dad mowed the rest of the place, and so he didn't mow this back here and bale it for hay. He didn't swath it because it was weedy and it was kind of thin and needed some fertilizer. It needed to be sprayed for weeds. So what we're going to do now is, it has been sprayed and it's looking a little bit better, but we're going to go ahead. and mow it down, so that maybe this fall he can get a little bit of hay off of it, or he might just, he might just mow it again. Excuse me. We might just mow it again this fall, and maybe just plan on baling it next year or something. But I don't think he thought it was probably worth his time this spring when he baled the rest of it. So I think what I'm gonna do is we're just gonna get some aerial footage here, and maybe I'll play some music while we mow this little spot right here.